okay.
Joe, it's here for near the four more medical joining in Yamisha, some of the Kay who ever Jumedi and so I won't find chain, Crasse, and yet delay a Juma Diano, a home, Pupieni Bia. Ye bomba dance ye better to new man and new maso echo a yikakra, and now saying Fidiani dear a Jumenti, Monfan chain, set Abandisa, ye brand cordian and super fosse. Baby, a baby to be a poem. Yenya bansu de ni yenya ba enkrantie ne ma wo ye de ombetwa Bruno eti yenya bande yenya ba em say last week nyame adom ye say dwumadie biase efa yen sikasem ho se de ye betoto yen sikasem ye nua Sammy Appiah-Danquah omaye information bebre was stopping the financial bleeding and necessary nyame ya dom oba betoa so amayen em say last week ni ye wo ensembisa bebre yantimi embusa enam ebre enti ebre no efayen amayen timi embisa nene de ampaya ebe ho no yenua na ye yire de wode ensem na ekotwi kobrema ni nyina bebre de efa ye sikasem ho o 41k de ye wo cheche ni mo bebre minim se ye mu bebre na ya toba ha ase na enzembe ni na we nyina ho ene yenteye yam se yenya bre amaye nua no anchechiremu anase wansa yensembisa no amaye enti na yenya ni de ye mane nko ekwan bia so obeyi ano amaye na yesoso ye financial freedom no yetimi enya bi enti tamukuchu mame mi twa me ho aba na makofa me nua Sammy na afi odi dwumadie no abre Yo, I see ya conclume ready. I ono na obema bibia atoto ye amawo. I said me kan ye no. Dwumadie no ye hya ase menua Sammy na muhunu ewo afidie de so no. Bring some bachote menka.
Yes sir.
Ye de nyame ase. And now no am so oni ye hye dwumadie ase. O say complementary financial literacy. Ye di ho nkomo ekwan a ye befa so ye sikasem. Yes, you bet me improve. Nani titrupa ne stopping the financial bleeding. And now see a part 2. Now, Obi we say financial bleeding is ho. Them said that which may you a cry of faso a bleeding financially. Aha. Na a dana I say announce summer at the pano. Utiminya iti. Okwa na open more. So na among for boy to say I'm makwan am misa omunsem. Ebi wa ye trot to ho said me kan no mo madi kan abaso no nyame samu Whilst you ubetimi di wasembisa aba upon mebel nyamisha pa se wabɛkan yɛn ho wa ubetimi di wasembisa na ba yɛnua Sammy wɔ so ɔbɛyansa ne nyina ama yɛ eti we de me nkyɛn ho kra mɛto ama no na ɛnɛ nso so deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ a ɛfa yɛ sikasɛm dwetɛ kudi lajan no etie yɛ ba kromo na kwa yɛ bɛfa so a yɛbɛtumi nyam kɔ yɛbi fa kwa bi so na ɔmanya bi so kwa na ɔmatwa kɔsnenti yɛmbɛsi yɛbɛtwa kɔsnenti kwa yɛ bɛfa so a abrɔfo ne we mu ɔmo mmerɛ so ɔmanya cash no yɛnso yɛbɛhu saa kwan no bi etimi ne asam meja ama na ɔde ama yɛn.
Yo, I mean, I'm like, I believe, sir, if you for now, you're ready. I bet 12 year last weekend or so.
That's right.
Anthony, I'm a costume. I'm say, yeah, Mike, hang sorry, them there, but I'm so bumpy. My so yeah, I bit me a share for you now. I say, I may say, I stay tuned, I pay attention to. And come on, be didn't crack, mate, you know, say, I may why. Yeah, you're from the SF, why am I at it and God should make us see it. I feel, oh my, you between the Brabon Alpha so Sebaya, a bit in ABB, Amaya Huni, and Musia, Amaya Dancing, so yes, my boy. Yes.
Yom, but on my pay, Yamitum for a dasi. What do my boy ever to Sammy? Tiatin Caboni beer. Papa, dear yes, sir, obed my boy and no my yansa. Said ye hegani abofran and no unhuri, no or complaining. So on your sioma abofrano. Eradu bie ne no hu se nsuo ne bi dan nkyɛn hɔ a die yɛsrɛ sɛ bɛboa ne bebie yɛni ne yɛso yɛmfum kwan a yɛbɛfa so a yɛbɛtumi atoto yɛn nneɔma ne yɛsikasɛm ne yɛnya bi ne ade bi so aboa afoforo yɛgya yɛ nnua Sammy hyɛ wɔn nsa bɛma ne nyansa ne adwen a wɔbɛtumi de akyerɛ na aboa yɛn a nneɔma ahintan ne yɛso yɛtumi adi mu yɛgya yɛn ho hyɛ wɔn nsa hyerɛ bebree wadom ti amen.
Amen. Yo, at your foyer, I want to pass and you may, women, then you may soon, and I adom. Now, the young saying, once a pim etigo over 100,000 people, a woo or yen ya. Couple of months ago, we were living with them. Couple of weeks ago, you know, one and any number. Couple of months ago, maybe your co-workers, maybe your neighbors. Maybe now for any your siblings, but all of a sudden, yes, maybe the virus it came within a very short time. I take it over 100,000 people. Near no one as I see so near no one a 2 year communities a you a free and chain. What is so peculiar about us? What is so special about us? A year 100,000 a year count. God is his own purpose, no. And why allow you, sir? I don't think say because you're teacher woman. I don't think say but the meeting I can in simple terms and say God in his own wisdom and one who say as this uncle for me keep it almost for my purpose for some reason being here we better that we do baby. This pandemic now are causing a whole lot of changes to our globe. And you may be as this different things are going on. And in America, it has affected the whole globe. Everywhere, the whole universe is suffering. And now, no, you are sitting going forward. I don't think that we can continue to do things the way we're doing. And you know, last week, when we started, say, pandemic, and you may know, sorry, everything hangs on money. Pandemic, Congress are trying say, just to help. Say, homeowners, renters, but is that enough? Is that enough? Excuse me. The Congress can this suffice for our lifetime and our long livelihood? So we are bleeding financially. Last week, Mika said, "Dear mommy, can't do when I'm a your pan said, Minimum and I call for man. It's a second shower. And yes, we did Pragopane Crone. Opposite Heidi. Now with the Ataro and so. Now I will say, and check what I was a Mujana Jai. And Mujana Jaya. Then what do you fear? You may know what come with him. No, this was sheer pie, so no, the attention anyone will come. But upper was 17, upper so yama wound in the we want to stop the financial bleeding. We want to put our high child bleeding and then immediate 2 also, so that you would do what they are playing them. So yes, Maya, I'm trying to watch it. We don't know when this pandemic is going to end. But one thing is sure, one thing is certain, say, we can stop it. Science for any paramedics program here who say, there are so many techniques that we think was stopping them. Sana financially, when people are bleeding, there are solutions to stop the bleeding. And it last week, but when you may be yeah, I just say, you never stop bleeding. No, acquire women. And you may be one, yeah. If you say it was good to help us. The side portfolios now. And then the arm costs are bleeding air cost. Everything said fixed deposits, mutual funds, 401k, 403b, TSP, 529 college funds, all those things, they are variable products. M1 stable in the system. Economically, acquire say in suotini, since suotini say in Niana Broad, it takes them and sway them away. Why? Because when and into all these products, are variable products, they depend on the economy, in the S&P, it goes away with all those. That is causing the bleeding. And it last week, you identified him at the base, say, Sanyama, we are here, and no, and the air cost bleeding, and no, and I'm using because I was say, Uncle, this month in Kwano, just for this month, you're going to lose $72,000. What about last month? What about last 2 months? And in the next 2 months, the Koya and Nimson, say, maybe Kwakoye. Ebusian for. You can for say, so what can I say? That will be about you somewhere. To me, can never say with you because you don't know when. I would, a Jabetomo. So would the women who bleed in Libya, but trust me, as time goes on, that pandemic continues to ravage the world. I tell you, sir, this bleeding is continuing unabated. And it's a one year who be no one per solution be and fan canoa. Minia, if you do baby no, you soon a frumusu. Yet the brim me who are dear American way you might 3, 4 need a can win sorry the slow midnight. And the can win for all that thing to go down the drain. And in the you may imagine say because the theories need also, solutions need also, and then my finances and a good also. Because you can't and one day as them. And my imagine say men running up near recap what we did last week so that we can have the questions and answers as we progress and do all these things. Try to answer the questions, it can also open up so many avenues. And near my solutions, everything they are stop bleeding. It you can say portfolio be we are any some features, any some pillars, you are wasting your time, you are wasting your energy. You can say Warren Buffett or a millionaire, renowned millionaire, everybody say you don't have to lose money. So we are conscious now as there are rules for money. Rules in everything. Soccer game. There are rules for playing soccer. And if you don't know the rules, you cannot play the game. If you don't know the rules, you cannot play. Football, you can find some or soccer. So what do we say? Cochina a penalty. And our cochina a team a penalty. And what do we say? A foul. And until you have to know the rules of the game. And in finances, what we are saying is you don't have to lose money, regardless, however small it is. You don't have to lose money. And rule number 2 say, never forget about rule number 1. And he is reiterating the fact and then re-emphasizing it. Say, you don't have to lose money. Rule number 3 say, avoid taxes legally. Warren Buffett, and all the millionaires is why because a fact now it works. And so comes in Albert Einstein. Last week, we tried to the rule of 72. how the rule of 72 affects our compound, affects our interest rates and the compound into the simple interest. And you can say, when the rule of 72, not take advantage of compound interest, or gaining one as but those people who don't know normally they pay and pay dearly for it. You can want some baby. Me citing instances here. Professor CB Eddie economics, economics no muka 401k at Ted Benner Eddie Bay said, and Emma replaced the pension in 1978. Not Ted Benner no abba on Fortune 500, Time Magazine, Forbes Magazine, and so many other magazines. Media Rebecca said he created a monster that should be blown away. Originally, 401k was not for retirement, it was for employers. Anything any compulsory, employers they are gaining so much from it. Or match there are so many techniques. Employer be all match 401k. The woman said they at the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal year, all filing the taxes as a company, they file all those match money, as tax deductible, and the government pays them all back for them. The IRS approves it, and they take all that money back. And into, you know what? As a compensation, all that they do is to attach that money with your little contributions now. And it's almost say the maximum we can do is 3%. And into technically what it means is say employer no adding in cyber 2 anymore. So that we're doing any mature say not only waiting. That is the treatment that you do 401k. 401k, what we be by default. I apologize. I do not want to good. I compliment you for that because what you want to say, but unfortunately, there are so many cats say one and because of that and I was soon here because of that if you the pandemic here, all of a sudden, wouldn't you then to seek our one or go on a 401k. The pandemic in my cry. This is the treatment they gave it. What will contribute to who you number one? 401k at the end of your retirement. Let's say you're doing 30, 40 years of retirement. They divide the 401k into 4 and give you 1. Let me explain. What will contribute to one portion of it? When employer now all match our amount 3%, or no, my catch will say he has a vested interest in you, like you having a vested interest in your child, in your son, in your daughter. Say, employer and also all employer they have a vested interest in you. That is why they are matching your 401k contributions. And at the end of the retirement, tax bracket then that is where they take their match money. Okay? Then and so you're from money managers that like I said, Zero Price, Charles Schwab, Prudential, Fidelity, Voya, all those people, all those companies, we call them money managers because all the money 401k, all the money, all the trust for, and trust me, they don't do that for fun. Or more offices, or more personnel, or more other logistics, and all those things now, or more managers can normally what contribution. That is where they get their pay from. That is where they get money to pay for their overheads and their expenses. And lastly, almighty taxes. And it is only 401k now. At the end of the retirement, you get for you, the contributor, your employer, the money managers, as what Europeans and the rest, and then almighty taxes. We divided into 4 and give you 1. And into at retirement, we be here, you 40 years. Retirement is going to be someone and stand so. And it is a what's now the pandemic is saying Samba, no one sent me and Yoshi. This is kind of for 401k. I feel that half of quarter 201k. Now we call now we buy. Bible says, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. This is what we have. For we see any portfolio now with an it's a say a work growth, a work risk free, a tax free. na ɛwɔ legacy a wobɛtumi ɛde asi wɔ sɛ dan anaa agyapadeɛ bi na wayɛ no well ɛde ama wɔ man ne wɔ busuafoɔ ne adɔfo nom, and it's supposed to have a judgment proof. Nya wodi mmara bi antimi nka no, nya predators yɛ antimi, nya IRS antimi mfiri wisdom. There is a solution, and that product, you know, there is an electric fence around it, and nobody can touch that. Nobody can use it apart from you and the beneficiary. And this is the solution. This is what we are recommending for everybody. Which has additional years to say the iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 2, no, they are outdated. They are too old. So get used to iPhone 11. Get used to the latest version of the things that Ebebo ama Wunsaka and Yesawuka. Yes, you my enemy say, we are going to go far beach never go port our money go to Ujai. When Jesus came, all those things ceased. And in the same way, if I should relate it to what I'm saying now, and it's over, iPhone 3, iPhone 4. Now we are in iPhone 11, and to get used to portfolios about the maximum satisfaction. Portfolios are a growth. Portfolios are a risk-free. Portfolios are a tax-free. Now, a one legacy that you can will it to your family and your loved ones. And so we recommended a cash value life insurance for you. And the cash value life insurance, and then I Walt Disney, and then I J.C. Penney, and then I Warren Buffett, and then I Bill Gates, and even including our President Trump. This is what they have. This is what they have, the cash value life insurance. And then I'm a baby, McDonald's. This is what they have. Now I want us to know who cash value life insurance. Do you have a long-term care? Send your mommy will be able to now one what family be mommy, what in your 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. I would not see homes here, the Namusha woman. I will have for those people a certain policies in maybe almost years here, and not now. And now they are reaping the benefits. Some rain and one more two or more like a because policies no more year now afraid I did not write part one more as the edge. And intina said the case here, Yamami from correct case, yeah, or more Jamie as a case no. Many panity as the case no because and who can answer. This is what we have seen. And this is what we are recommending. Say, you took back to Mr. Quentin. Don't let us fire need of Akuse. Papa be a crew. Was so no or drive when it's open so far. Jinakwa when they put down on this, we can change who. This will be Jinakwa because that channel say what drive with the new street, we can change who. For let us come to clear light, a clear dim lighter, a daylight, a bama yahu ye, ama yahu ye. These things are available. So why don't you show and even be brave? The ones this one per went here, and they also the woo the other. Cash value life insurance. There was so many advantages. There was protection, emergency fund. It has a sound retirement. It has college funds, college savings, and then legacy. And then it's protected against predators, against IRS, against bankruptcy, and against anything that which you can have them. It provides critical, terminal illness, and then chronic illness. Whilst you are living, not when you are dead. And and they say, I didn't know we are being quite so fast. Yeah, one number show man show more they are not dead, they are still alive, they are living, and this is where they get people to come to their houses, to clean their houses for them, to feed them and dress them and bathe them and do so many other things for them. Why? Because they did something like this. Atlantic, America, you see, oh, you be basically we don't want your best to cry. I feel all of a sudden, then all of a sudden, yes, go fund me. Oh my goodness. So go fund me, Say, yeah, that's I don't for practice. You can see the see what happens to your children, what happens to your wife, what happens to your husband. So you depend and entrust your whole family life on GoFundMe. Last week, we can say, God created man in his own image, but God did not create the aeroplane. So we say that he created man and man created the aeroplane. And man and the man said, say wisdom and never be brave honoma would we need to throw now free when ya would be wooden ye and I be woman so yeah. Nyame boy and see you see ya actually. Ebusiafo and never be brave and when your near me corner my yahu say. So what you want to know why you say won't say who be one can say a course of life. Anytime Bible can say, but I can kind. The fake pastor be out for me and go and issue. Now fake pastor be out for me and my dad out. Don't let me go down there. You can see some. And to me, so I have 401k be. They said down so number 2 there is a solution for that. We have a solution. We have a product called fixed index annuity, and we can do something like a rollover, and then we roll that into that portfolio. I want to see a taxable there, but there are rules on that. You are entitled to take 10% every year, until let's assume, say, we are 40 years, and I'm a retirement. Then you roll it over there for 10 years. Every year you take 10% off and pay taxes on it. Any 10 years, I will need 15 years. You know what you see, 401k portfolio no more. Anything when there's market crash, when there's anything you don't care. And when you first year, there are 2 families in the world. Questions now, but there are 2 families in the world, and we in the financial industry, they're from they're telling the I know family and the I hope family. The I hope family, they don't do nothing. They don't plan. They fail to plan. They don't do anything. They don't seek no advice. They don't have no financial advice. They don't have anybody to help them. They don't care. Say anything. Yes, Spanish for say, oh, they don't care. Ubia will know so will be. It is time for another college. Time for another and fan at home. So now, when Tina say, Opani, are you sure? Says, who called you? One man, Fiema, oh, Madam College. Was I hope they will be okay. Are you sure? Say, we fear you know you with me. Say, who called Madam? In your absence, can they continue to live in this house? Was I hope they will be okay. Why? Because there hasn't been any meaningful thing. Why you have to say, the children and the family can continue to live in that house and have the house instead of the mortgage. Why you should with the card ever swallow? I wanted to confirm and verify something in Maryland. About 2 years ago, I read an article and say, we homeowner of Maryland. They said, only one beneficiary, you got to provide at least 40% of the loan balance. And then after 60 days, they eject you from the house. I wanted the document, everything I confirmed, I didn't remember. But give me one article. I think I've misplaced the source. I'll confirm that and see. And this idea we want they say what you want to and they say we need to be a who be son of because I hope they will be okay. I hope my children and my wife will be okay. I hope my husband will be okay. And and one say yeah, but and then yes. But on the other hand, there are other people, other families who are what true or planning a life. And if you know college fund say that actually person in background go college. And then I can say no, but you have but idea now the cry you good. What if you see one of my way 401k you good. But in as much as I say how why you are planning yes, but there's a proper way of protecting the family. There's a proper way of doing the right thing. Then like the iPhone 11 now, I superseded the iPhone 3 and 4. No? And then they get recommended. I say, look for it, search for it, for who now and so that someone of my say, do you think, say, Uma anyway, okay in your absence. So when you have, I know they will be okay. We'll be saying, say, Uma for no woman, would they be able to go to college in your absence? I know they will be okay. Why? Because while you're DSC, what to do in your main I for 11 years, or critical illness, or chronic illness, or terminal illness, or long-term care, or so many other things that 1 year and 1 to 2 in your main and it will be said, okay, I know they will be okay. And then you may, my main for my own see. You can't send the brain. I believe 7 you are no more questions. Now, as the questions comes, no, now, ya me adu we kwanya ebetimi afaso na eyi ano edamase timi join na pe invite questions
yo minia same da wase pa am say watche enyomo ni mu eyie watche mu eyie amini 1 minute. Yes, okay. The phone me try me hoaba. Ya by them say nya bandi ni nya ba say me kan no. Em say nua a chechire mu ya mai pa. Say them the numbers ni 2 dwa no. Wa betimi afre na wo de wasem bisa na ba 703 445 5220 and 703 56 703 590 2360 emu bia ubetimi afre na wa wode wasem bisa no aba ana wo sene ma Facebook ana WhatsApp baby ade be fe bia ye de be ma no na wayi ano aman zo wanya abutre achechim chedem kase last week ye nya kwan amana ansa questions ni bebre na ene yenya no de e wo se oye eman bina same obi first question wo ha no o say 41k last week o kan say 41k no a problem but as a one more details obiara ba ni focus okopa adwuma pe ebuza se na adwuma no omoma 41k omo we ho 41k no what is the actual problem with it and then how are we going to solve it?
Okay, me that's it. What we say medical cancer 41k no originally it wasn't meant for employees. Originally it was for employers. So omo de beti omo numerous expenses no omo near masubi. So Ted Benner and we introduced in 1978. Or introduced corporate America crown man into no back and forth from 1978 to 1980 and IRS at mom said now or my employers no and into no going forward no employees no out employer be our employee a be our patronizing. Now you can offer them that contribution so they can do a pre-tax wages. I'm waiting at the theater that not for their retirement. And you know, initially, and I said originally it wasn't meant for employees. It was for employers. And in Tina, employers no more for the tax deductible. The problem I want to say. 401k a variable product, maybe than portfolio it depends on the stock market, it depends on the economy. And it, just like stocks, stocks will not crash here, then the 401k also crashes. Just like a mutual fund. And it is what Donald Trump, the move no tricky North Korea. They said a gold any Shenzhen anyone in drop what your money also drop with it because baby than anything and I'm going to make us say since so tinia and near me and changing in a fan of the co and it baby and the dano a mutual Anna in as much as say and Kaye say would the baby do retirement medical can say they give it 4 treatments that 4 treatments taxes a major part of it the money managers staff what TO price no one can so they have a share in that who contribution now and then we company so much a company right at the end of the year now match back and the can show they will take and that is the problem with the 401k. But there are other portfolios that we are they don't have the 401k. Another problem is someone who cry and said so we be when Timmy for son can you say what the 59.5 years? What the second year you 10% penalty. I feel you have to borrow the money. Now borrow so what your interest rate home. So what mean you when you're 59.5 years, between 60 years to 70.5 years, and so Sikana Canada one is when Timmy and Dini area, your friend baby RMDs, RMDs, if I require minimum distributions, the excise tax, they give you 50% excise tax, they take the money, 50% of that money away from you because and this kind of also my winter mini. There are so many rules who are in but the iPhone 11 and the can't only life insurance are seemingly hidden. Now, as you can afford in the pocket they don't have all these rules, they don't have all these restrictions. And into the you are safe as sumajo. Let me be answering your comment.
Wow. Wow, so I explaining the yepa. The question say 401k doesn't mean say am I in yakra anase saying because it look like people don't have options. Ukwa said of a kind anyone will be looking for. So what is the other alternative for the 401k? Because it be a core 401k and for a training the kika hunina. So what is the alternative with that?
403 401k the private and Christian institutions they use 403 and I buy for other corporate forms use 401k. Nina the crow. Now they tell us what will say employers they use it as a bait. Almost used to say, oh, but you have the benefits. And they use that to attract quality employees. What I say? Quality employees because who buy now I'm 401k. No one can just say or secure retirement. And the 401k, no, and as Americans originally it wasn't meant for employees in 401k. Most of the companies and your compulsory. And you're compulsory, and into the who are open optional, and you go and opt for it, and into the mawa, then it's in the company member chamo. Yes, and a company and say compose a company member chamo employee. Just some few companies with them who maybe the Massachusetts companies we about some companies in Massachusetts that they do that say you compose. I don't know why they do that. And sometimes the military for them TSP. Military for them see a kind of a little bit different from this, but they are all swimming in the same portfolio, the same pool. Anything that is what it is. But the alternative now make kind of say. So when you say, oh, 401k, I do not the cocoa any year. I do not the cocoa any year, you're fine. Name and them say, now now you have the problem. You have come face to face with the problem. That is why you are bleeding. And I make that was said, 401k, the sister penny, I know iPhone 11. No. Yeah, they got 200 more. The only thing that in the second say, and then this kind of 401k, I won't share one tax in I want to the control will be tax anyway. But there is a way to go about it. We move it from the 401k, so who are we contributing over penny? Then number 2, there is this question you be a free juma now company now woman. You be say, do they allow in-service distribution? If your company does not allow in-service distribution, there is no way you can move it freely like that. But the company that allow in-service distribution, then you give us your consent, and then we move the money to a different portfolio. It will be from company to company. Then we move it to a fixed index annuity. Fixed index annuity, this is, we do 4 things where we say we put a grip on your money. We put a grip on your money. Grip, a GRIP. The first one is guarantee. We guarantee that Sikana would have got 500,000. From that day onward, you're not going to lose a penny on that. Guarantee. Aaron says that we are giving you a 10% interest guaranteed for the next 10 years. That amount that when we guarantee it 10% for the next 10 years in that company. Then Aaron will give you income for life. So we are for 10 years, and I can say, the from Sammy, me from son, can call retirement 60 years. You can do that. From 60 years, we start this distribution. Say, every month, be a maybe 20,000, depending on your money. At the end of the whole see, you be an illustration where we say, every month, this is how much you can take out from this policy from age 60. And that's going to give you income for life. And we give you protection. We give you protection. Say, oh no, you can't have much not be doing and say, you ever kind of last, no, I enjoy. I didn't know what cool. Our critical illness, when never be blessed, I can't want a protect you you're free. Another thing that fixed index and you to know what money no one said. Most of the companies, because what give you consent to roll it, they give you bonus. Now I know if a company they will give you 20% instant bonus. As I was seeking 100,000, you move in China, let's go through when you're 20,000 free money, I become home right away. It will be a crowd. I will say, when the 20,000 more fan can move from an infant to me, bottom, not the account of more fan control. We give you 20% bonus free, then we roll it over. Now we put a grip on that money. And losses now because of the pandemic, the canal consumer blow immediate too. We put a grip on that money. We put a grip on that money and say, you're sealing it. Is a home another change. There's so much. We put GRIP, a grip on that money, and then it will not suffer no loss anymore.
Wow. Rest of me that's a Obi question about or say, I don't know if it's part of or say, how bad is the military TSP? That is what I have. I don't know what the TSP means. Meaning there's no idea the question,
TSP, I buy a year what they might soldier for. I'm with the nice for 1K. No, mono. We are military. Who are military? No, I said no more money. You have to do it. Because why? Yeah, you are losing because that is what the government is giving to them as a way of compensating them. One more journey a little bit slightly different from the 401k and 403, but the same thing, the same concept in the same portfolio. I said you for the any TSP.
Oh, okay. You rest with that. When you say or say what's a fixed index annuity if I get it right? Yes. Okay. Or say how much do I need to start it, and how long is it going to take to mature?
Annuity, it depends on what you have. You can start as low as 10,000, 20,000, depending on what you have. Mama information be crap.
And the book can I say we'll be breaking it down.
No. Obi to me roll 500,000, 1,800,000, depending on what you have in the 401k. Accumulated.
What I'm basically breaking it down because we're explaining what I say no. But if I want for interest with this no, okay. How are they going to go about it? Obi crowd crowd we need 401k say a possible say ubetime and answer a kwan be na abefa so opese ukoyi be free on the baby obetima benefit no. Is there any way obetima explaining that part?
Good question. That is what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, Juma, we help families like you. You don't pay us. The companies we work for pay us. And you don't have no obligation. Anything Michelle say, what if I can show you a way whereby I guarantee your money and give you 10% interest rates and you will never see no losses in income and we give you a bonus of that by guaranteeing your money. And that won't commit anything. Would you want to know it? Would you want to do a business like that? Would be okay, say yes, sir. Two things. This is where we begin from. This is how I say, Bisa our company go to HR and maybe someone say, does my company allow in-service distribution?
But you say
in-service distribution. What it means is say, the company allows ID and media. It says me 401k media. I can move it around anywhere I want. Some of the companies they don't. Almost so conservative, they don't almost just a retire because almost kind of more match is so important to them that they don't want you to move it away. You need to be on them say, as long as you hear you having the win team in your just wait I heard you, and I say just retire. But most of them they allow that. And if they allow in-service distribution there, hallelujah, then you have the right to move everything. See, you can say, one more can say, in-service distribution, and then you tell us, we call the money managers and say, T-Row Price, or say, Charles Watt, or say, whoever, or manage you 401k, no? Then you, as the contributor, the owner of the 401k, no, will tell you what to tell them and will tell you what to do and tell them, say, release my money to this company B. And I'm saying almost say, money to them, they business to them. Sometimes they are reluctant and they don't want to do it. But there are corporate laws will show you what to do and then what to say so that they will release the funds. Sometimes, by law, you don't have to touch the money. The agent doesn't have to touch the money. As a company to company, but some companies rough. So we use some corporate laws and then make them feathers all that money to you in check, seal check. And then you mail it to the receiving company, and right away they give you the bonus, they put the grip on that money, and boom, we start illustration and it goes from there.
Okay, Russell made that's part, but still have another question. It doesn't mean say obi person contribute to that person, let's say or 401k now. On here so this can be a free in the pocket, but which might transfer the 401k abaho.
Exactly.
Okay. Obi say IRA. I don't know if you have any idea about that. So what about IRA?
That is individual retirement account.
Okay. And also
individual retirement account it depends any our year it be a fixed it be on more. What was I to say a fixed? It's put on 5 years and say whatever. Ultimately, move. Yes, I didn't mature. I know be on say you free. I'm mature and that was we can move all those because I already know. A taxable, but this is a farm market law depending on the qualified and the unqualified ones. Depending on what you did.
Wow. Thank you so much. Another question. I say okay. Last week we talked about Rule 72. I'm said that one explaining but when to me some question. Say how not so bit to go back the Rule 72 no breaking it down. I think they will know how to touch it. No.
My main call back is the main who are the issue.
My main project here. No.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This is the Rule of 72. This rule was promulgated by Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein enacted this. Albert Einstein, invented electric bulb. Lights here, we are. We don't suffer that one now for Canadian. Albert Einstein, and what they buy. Now another rule or they buy physical 7, and then the rule of 72. The whole world has attested and approved it. Said this rule it works. What it means in the say. It talks about compound interest. What is compound interest? The only way who say there was simple interest. You go to the mathematics, simple interest. That's right. 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, 4 + 4 = 8. That is simple interest. Okay. Compound interest, it does not follow the rule of simple interest. Compound interest follows an exponential rule. The values, it doesn't follow a pattern. It follows a pattern, but a yes strict rule at the simple interest. My main demonstration Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein say, "Say me Mike, you 30 years. Na say, you the bank. You make 10,000, the same amount. Not the same amount, me call bank. They are 1% of my interest rate. I mean, this kind of go. That's a Mike call. Now your money 10%. Albert Einstein say, if you divide the interest rate in the amount by 72, the number 72, answer will be yano. And then about show the number of years you can equate on ever double.
Wow.
And it's a 10,000 in the amount of 30 years. Now this kind of bank name 1%. If you divide 1 by 72 by 1, it's going to give you 72 years plus with 30 years in the wedding. And so technically what Albert Einstein is saying, 30 + 72 is going to be 102. and sign out 10,000, I 20,000. And if the second person is a Mike, near my Mike 10%. When you divide 72 by 10, it's going to give you 7.2 years. And it's a Mike, you say a year when you higher interest rate. And it's from 30 years, 37 years, a 10,000 made 20,000. Now I got 43 years. Now the 20,000 40 years. 50 years. Now you're 80,000. You see, every 7 years in the year, Mike is can double. That is the rule of 72. And to when Albert Einstein say, Obia or money conscious entrepreneur and so on him the rule of 72 now, he takes advantage of it and gains so fabulously from it. Why? Because so when you want to fix deposit, you about 2%, 1%. Meanwhile, inflation in America is 3 to 4%. In the one that's what can actually want it out. But you already know what the rule of 72 will go and look for a higher portfolio that will give you the maximum highest interest rate. And it is a whole call. Like we come to our company at the cap, we have a cap of 15%. And it's if you divide 72 by 15, it's going to be about almost 5 years in the other 5 years in the year, your money is going to double. That is the rule of 72. That is the explanation, the illustration I made you with the hammer.
Wow. It makes sense, but not just this is I did I was a oyan in them. The more channel, there's a lose more.
That's right.
Hey, that's it.
Now, Obi special says this year, but of course, a man of 20% and 15%. Almost only got 2 or 20 years, 1%. So
no one does so. That means that if it's calculated to bank the crumble, it's not necessary. It's only 2 or 1. It's necessary because interest are almost the banner and should I need that big beer.
We talked about this bank issue last week.
Okay.
Now me this our formula way too. And I make kind say. And I make kind say. Se woko baby ni isi school down here. Isi school down here the betchen kwala ade. You see I sorry that you see kosum nyame ni abompaye. But you see banker. The main purpose is you be pesca. A crime you know before so we need 2 things. 2 ways. One way if you customer no. Ota musika say, I didn't know musika go to bank. Number 1, open so this go to bank for safety. Na confirm me ya na amro with we me na do amefa. Na open wide ya right away na quiet be ma. And you put your money in the bank for safety, for protection, and I feel any the amount $1 the account, $1 or $2 the account. And we are clients. You are the client here. The client, you go to the bank with the winning machine when you see double and you have 10,000. Then the bank gives you 1%. Then the bank put it in the cash value life insurance. Over there is 10%. They give it to the bank. Bank need to say, until now the bank becomes like you. And until bank can rob you, security with 10%. Bank number 1 and 10%. And the last week, we show. Paper said was Fargo, Bank of America, and how much they have in reserve in life insurance. I did. Which is Bank of America. And into you put your money in the bank, and the bank makes more than 10% on your money than you. How does that make you feel? Are you comfortable with that?
No, really.
Are you okay with that? These are some of the things we do to stop the bleeding. Another way I will be able to say, you see bank, you see the physical. It's right here. This yellow arrow. The bank over her. What's it the same amount sika? Now the Google card is what's this coming man fancy with the card in the amount. Then you friend credit card. Credit card, and then the bank really almost 1%. The bank gives you 16 to 24% on the credit card if you have to be strike. Why? Because you want to make huge amount of gains from you because the bank understands the compound interest and the rule of 72 so well. Say So on my this rate, now we divide by 72 years, na card, as long as all this goes from my wuchino, they are making excessive amount of money from you.
Wow.
That's right.
Rest of me, I did is it's amazing. Yo, another question. Obviously, cash value life insurance and other individuals into me, except the banks and Nkoa.
The cash value life insurance is for individuals. Let me say, a number grand system no hono. Let me say, esikafo no individuals anyway. Oh, yeah, individuals and the banks, you know. Oh, instead, there are so many portfolios a bank can commit to trading in. They can trade in the stocks. Anytime you manage a television, so you wouldn't be. But I want to say, I want to stable. I want to know for so be honest. Last week, you know, I read the whole passage and I said it is in the cash value life insurance and almost funding almost employees' retirement. Normally, say I want to the safest place to put money. You can hold lot of passage. You say, that product, you know, and you save, and you son, it has so many perks. So when it's you don't lose nothing on it, and you take it tax free. All other portfolios that are going to will with tax. Individuals like me and you, and Asadi and the law, no man, they made the law in 1930 for individuals. Now, you know, and the California create, and the banks, you know, are taking advantage of it. That is why the federal trying to manipulate the operations, you know, normal control, you know, from FDIC, Federal Depository Insurance Corporation. And yes, sir, they will be blown up. I'm call the extremes. But individuals like me and you, anything account value life insurance. As a matter of fact, that is the solution now. iPhone 11 now, you did back about say 401k now. We year 12 years, 20 years ago, no, that is good, but not for Juma Bataho. Now the iPhone 11 is here. Let's all jump onto the iPhone 11. Now, why any year for any year, that's it. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Rasam, where is it dear? I said last week there was an issue with a 529 college fund. And I said so why be is it good? And I said say you good in so is there any way bit reversing? And now what is the best way to set up that 529?
Very good question. Last year we had an issue with a grandma and be or Baltimore. Grandma and be na you wouldn't banana in the tune was Yakolano. Or pursue educating right away was 529 college fund man. Last year, if you can meet him by and there was an issue, and then they said, you know, yeah, Coco different day or court. What happened? They said, Mammy, no, old lady, no, grandma, no, well, your contribution, by the time I go school, and this can do $85,000.
Wow.
In the Colani do college, and they denied her federal aid to pursue the college at the first degree. And I'm going to say this is nonsense.
Oh, that's kind of winning now.
And you want one seeker, and when the man and Nana so from school, I didn't buy 89 the federal aid. Then the court educated the woman and ruled, said, the 529 college fund is considered as an asset, as a fiscal asset. Okay? And in the federal aid, there is a formula, they calculate it. And yet, the cost of attendance minus the estimated family contribution. And that 529 in IRS when is considered as an asset. And it is a woo Mike Obabueno or 529K, 529. Next year, do 18 years, no college is the kind of 70, 80,000. A man will look at that a asset or a Kolani Dimu. Then they compare to Obiani only see the crowd when he deem as an asset. And into wo parent in a Juma way plus the 529 and Wayama Obano. They use it for the formula. The formula number 10,000 credit deny you.
Anyway, it
And
doesn't make sense.
And in a year can say the cash value life insurance IUL it is not considered as an asset based on the laws now. It is not considered as an asset, and then you take it tax free. And into Obroni no ban first week in social security buy and now I thought Cash Value Life Insurance and man in the Quran maybe 18 years no that's kind of mature now you're a millionaire. And also no you the two federal you the two or I do 18 years now walk college now. And I'm saying no, it's not considered as an asset. We are man of federal aid in full. None of papa no the millionaire was accumulating in Cash Value Life Insurance. You study a full car so and into me I thought the brand new car. I thought why I wouldn't years go years go I thought dance you. Why? Because they did something that me and the crony and and we never care to find out. Anything here can say 529 adrenaline would hear any good, but anything we find a way. Sakurani 18 years here. We roll it to Cash Value Life Insurance, which is not considered as an asset. Federal aid.
Wow. Are you idiot? I sort of kind of was wait with a question about offer with me answer and I'll do back. Okay. Rasa Obidia social media. Or say, how do we buy the Cash Value Life Insurance for case?
Okay. Any minor child to be no. Anyway, Cash Value Life Insurance, you had your health and netto. You had the health insurance, be you the health anyway age netto. You first kind of insurance. Last 2 weeks, we share a baby. So that you know, so because it's $2,000 a month to club it, but don't qualify because of the house. But Akwala bia we minor. I just Akwala unfortunately no, Arabia born and you diagnosing the number one in medical history.
Right.
Akwala bia no betimi ayade no Akwala need him. Now who parent no, who now be they pay you because by law Akwala cannot pay. And who parent now be pay you anything no, who now you're the owner of the policy. No crown, so papa no say we won't qualify. You can write the Cash Value Life Insurance or banning him. Now all over funding and then in such a way say you can use it as your own. And then no buy a to benefit from that.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure say what you say. We're explaining and nonsense. Me sure say what you say. Brother, last week, okay, say most people don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan. It was a kind of a logic. Or you say, how do you explain that? So most people don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan.
I mean, it's like okay, I mean who no. Now me can say the categorizing American
food. Who Facebook and I say YouTube or share your life or say or the atoso.
The categorizing American food into two. You were the family A and family B. Obi oba according to a buy and one say waba. Yes, yes, or pay you my no pay you my na 1 3 4. You need the account.
Quadruple.
They don't care. She can ban and say man was send the call, no send the call, no send the call. No will be party, no the be no no the be away. That's fine. Obi no me call baby. Me call Denver. I call your presentation. Let me say family be me call no trans. I'm sorry to say I'm glad to say me will be agent. Family no. Papa the car now will use no. Or to car no the cars what the car note is 650. And the wheelchair insurance 410, something like that. And the car no kwan is about $1,000. It's $1,000. The car no is plastic and metals. But Obronia in such a way says one for insurance and so I wouldn't mean two car. And in the car now I got on about no. And there's also insurance the truth. Not putting you to anything every month he pays $1,000 on the car. But on one case, they go to the car no more. Where you man about some with $1,000 in the on your insured. You want to say it, yes.
Yes.
On one gets any period on in a year, you may each can canon. Ah, on one that or yan match and on the washroom on a can who here say it isn't going insure the who before the car and the plastic can first. Maybe I'm a catcher go for Michelle, I'm catching some year. And can make us say, oh, bad year when you 1 million insurance, come in my home for Ubano. As I say, 1 million insurance, my Ubana Sarah Mara, saying, me and then lower. Send ya, I buy a car, law, say insurance, 17 to her. And can make a go be our card for the life insurance. And can you see be why you go fund me? And can you see be what you can claim you say you get to? And can you see what you can claim you say why? Because we don't plan. We don't plan. Anna, Obi overcast me here action on here because officially will be wasting the time. And it's like I say, most people don't plan to fail. That's I want the fever. They don't plan to fail because they just fail to plan. Oh yeah, you will continue to remain in family A. Family A, our credit card, our term life insurance.
The problem they say, also the system, especially young Africans, you buy formality in the ho, oba also kwaje car, also kwaje credit, also kwaje it will budget is our no crana achichireno. It right from the beginning, no planning Benny here, and sana and in our because what are we talking about? Say anybody brave, I cool just because it sounded right, it makes sense. But Obi Wakromba, one missing that opportunity now called the planning. Oh, eti nipa saa no edi na obetuma ye say wa mess up we wakwaje credit card yakwaje nkunya wakwaje car wakwaje we insurance bia na okay kai wa fan to so e kwa enyi eti at the end of the 2 weeks and as a month no wajene cash wa adwuma wi a onji ye no kra na say we distribute awie amanasa eti saa nipa ono bia why victim we di ka betom dada wa plan say the okan no edi na obetuma ye ana is there any way new ones are urban and I said the young ones now urban on bit my planning.
Yeah, and in America can say those people in family A, they have no advisors, they have no plan, nobody to have no professor to have them plan. Number one, question I will kind of say, oh mama told me on anything. As long as I would just in a womb, you say where there's life, there is hope. There's a way. When there's life, there is a way. I didn't think that there is a way. They say, yeah, maybe sells a mic. So who two cars say gas? Let's say go do pumping and then they say gallon of petrol, $15. Over coffee.
Debbie.
Why?
Because you need choice also.
Exactly. We better gas and then go come and work with the why adjustment. When we sit with families near share more, you can't jump up any winning baby. So I say it's so much important to you. You will sit down and do adjustment and cut here, and make sure to what's near your idea with. We are running a crusade. Is it $10 a day? $10 a day to secure your own self. I didn't get $10. So actually wait 16 hours, 12 hours. Mr. Wouldn't mean $10 a day for 24 hours and 16 hours. Now I don't know what kind of you have to be able to pay yourself $10 a day. It is always $10 a day, yeah. Then, regardless of who age, see a second Peter, at least you can get a coverage. $10 a day, no. They can't think of what say. How many times now do we know Makwabon Kudidi? So 1 month, so Makwabon 4 times they go Kudidi. Because of this thing, no, we are cutting it into 2. Okay. So every month, auto shirt and auto shirt 5. Now we want you to buy 2 because of this. So it has said, and go for me, one more. You discuss showing unnecessary showing what Sanya man, Yankase, you good one for you. But yes, the charity begin as well. And it's one guy show the Yanaka say what $1,000 the coffee every month. You can do that for 800 save $200 for this thing because your life matters. So who you are, some crowdfunding now will depend on you, no, they are not there. So you first, save yourself first. So what's the aeroplane one? I did back when I was somewhere a come a year, but I don't know about you. I'm say when you see aeroplane when there is a crisis, let's say I say oxygen is short will be an MP oxygen max no. First will ring and son now will be actually and help yourself first. And then what will be. Put the oxygen mask on your nose first so that you can breathe and save yourself first and send somebody else. He says he can be a party, birthday party, casa kakraka. Yes, you're very good. Yes, you're important. Yes, you are very necessary. Car are essential. Car are necessary. But when you say, Kokoto Bentley, the Fakojuma. Okay? And then you say, Kokoto. Can be my other one will be able to know say yes, una American. The China Yarekobowa is a go fund me. And Rekobonent is a company na cyber funny. Why? Because you didn't plan well.
Wow. Okay, you're picking questions, even so free. Okay, I say, what are the monthly payments for case? Then
Monthly payment for kids, it depends how much you want to do. We start from 100,000 and can go all the way to 10,000, 10 million, or whatever it is. It depends on how much you want to start with. Those 500 our price is different. We start at 1 million our premium is different. We start at 250 our premium is different. The sound and penny for so get.
Okay, brother, another question. Was it last week you said never lose money? Okay, never lose money. Okay, writer. Was it never lose money, even though the rich are not losing money? Is that what you said last week?
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
What I said in the say was the Kenny Bible cry. Bible cry say, Mumu wine the work your project. You know one to answer, no one to see who say. And now we are maybe see me young bros 2,000, me yes meant to say, me young chances say. Bible, yes, you can say, about what kind of say. Say any partner say, we done could do come the went to me and you for class through. I'm calling my partner was started and went to me and said, the Tiana say, you know, what was it? Mark, what was the question I hear Mrs. A?
Was it okay? Say never lose money.
Yes.
Rich people are
portfolio now with the idea ni kwa kusimuno. Here funny. What you say? I didn't know do you understand? Because se mimi kwa 401k na uko cash value life insurance. The possibility say me lose money higher than who are use cash value life insurance. I didn't think that make answer. Pandemic by mutual funds ni wa when na mo na so me do moko. But cash value life insurance is stable and strong and going. Obi a wo cash value life insurance bi ade we by on lose penny kra. And it depends on baby a wo person with